you're behind. Tell the stranger sleeping next to you to get the hell out, you've got things to do. Wednesday morning, the week's half done. Try to sober up, it's time to run. There's only 3 days left working from 9 to 5. Then it's party time. Party time. Just a little more work to do. Let's get on up and get the damn thing through. Then we'll get back to numbing our minds.
Yeah, hump day, finally. Getting over it. Hoping I don't get sick. Not like vomiting, but like a cold. I snore. So the wife ends up in the spare bedroom on a regular basis. She'll get up in the middle of the night, head over there, and get some sleep while I'm in the main bedroom sleeping, snoring, making a lot of noise. And when I went and woke her up this morning to get her to move back to the master bedroom, she was complaining of a sore throat. So we'll see what happens. If I come down with something, I come down with something. Not much I can do about it. Not going to be very great in terms of temperature today, right around 40 degrees, clouds in the forecast. Maybe up near 50 tomorrow. Might see some more precipitation in the area over the next day or so. I got to get those leaves up. That's on the agenda today. Looks like the neighbor's 3 giant trees in his backyard have finally decided to let loose. And now I got to rake half of his leaves because they're on my lawn. Yay. Lots to get to today. Of course, we'll talk a bit about Thanksgiving. There's plenty of stuff going on with Turkey Day happening just about a week from now. Take a look at our Week 12 Pigskin Picks. I'm thoroughly in the lead. It's basically over at this point. But we'll give it a look and see what we've got coming up for this week with our Pigskin Picks. Also going to talk about hated NFL teams, the most hated in the country. Probably not very surprising which one ranks in the top spot. Get to bad news, happy music later on as well. If you want to get in touch with me this morning, head to rockmornings.com for all of our contact info. It'd be great to hear from you guys. Requests and whatever else is going on. Music in a bit from Sublime and Architects. Again, rockmornings.com to get in touch with me.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Rock Mornings, Brian and Gene. The Senate's unanimously agreeing to approve a House-passed bill to require the Justice Department to release all unclassified records and documents related to Jeffrey Epstein. Sending the bill to the president's desk for a signature. The action in the Senate swift, ending the battle essentially in Congress over the files, months of turmoil, illicit activities, all that stuff. Chuck Schumer secured approval to quickly send the legislation to President Trump's desk after the Senate Republican ran a hotline to see if there were any objections on the Republican side of the aisle. Schumer declared triumphantly, quote, "The Senate has now passed the Epstein bill as soon as it comes over from the House." Trump said he will sign the legislation after spending months discrediting it. Trump telling reporters in front of the Oval or in the Oval Office on Monday, "I am all for it. Really a Democrat problem." So we'll see where this goes. But it looks like it's getting to Trump's desk, and he says he's going to sign it. A Michigan man with the same first and last name as Vice President J.D. Vance, sentenced to 2 years in federal prison. James Donald Vance Jr., sentenced for making online threats against the president, the vice president, and one of the president's children. This is the second time in a month a West Virginia resident has now been punished for threatening to kill the president. But J.D. Vance threatening J.D. Vance, and now he's going to jail for a couple of years. could have been sentenced to 5 years in prison and fined almost $250,000 per charge. But this guy getting 2 years in federal prison now for his threats against the government. Elsewhere, violent imagery depicting ICE agents being shot photographed on the University of Wisconsin-Madison campus late last week. It's a hand-drawn image on some sort of light pole or post. Said the only good fascist is a dead one. Drawing depicting a man wearing sunglasses with a mask over his face and a hat on his head. The man's shirt says ICE. Red blood streams out of his head. It was on in this area called Memorial Library. My first reaction was, well, I'm in a university, so I wasn't too surprised. I kind of felt disgusted, and I felt that it was a very harmful message to be sending to college kids, especially in a very politically biased or politically charged university. The student who took the photo of the image said he ripped it off the post. Apparently, police investigating these things. More images showing up all around the UW-Madison campus, similar to that one. And this is really good news. I hope this is an impetus for something that happens here in America. England, UK, reselling tickets for profit is going to be outlawed under plans due to be announced sometime this week as the government there goes ahead with a long-awaited crackdown on resale platforms like StubHub. Ministers in the UK have been considering allowing touts, T-O-U-T, whatever the hell that means, and ordinary consumers to sell on a ticket for up to 30% above the original face value. So this is all applies to the UK people, all these numbers and whatever. But anyways, the decision sometime later today going to be announced will hopefully stop the resale market from gouging customers who are looking to just get into a concert for the announced price. And again, I hope something like this comes to America soon because we could use it. I mean, it's getting ridiculous out there. Sometimes you can't even get the tickets in the first market. You got to wait till they're on the second market before you can even get your hands on them. And at that point, they're double, sometimes triple, if not more, what the face value is. So legislation in the UK, they say that anyone reselling a ticket will also be prohibited from offering more tickets than they could have procured under limits set by the original box office company. So yeah, a lot of times you'll go to Ticketmaster to get tickets and they have a 2-person limit. And then the next thing you know, some guy's selling 80 tickets online. How'd you get 80 tickets? The plan in the UK says that selling a ticket will not be allowed to charge more than they paid for it. Resale platforms will be allowed to charge fees on top of that price, and that's obviously where they're going to get you. But in terms of the overall value of the ticket, it's going to be the same as what they purchased it for. We'll see if maybe that makes its way to the States. That would be nice. That would be real nice. Rock Mornings with Brian and Jean. Speaking of being overseas, that's where she's at right now. Got a text from Brian who said, just curious what you do with the leaves because I got 10 bags worth. Do you recycle them or just throw them away like garbage? Am I overthinking this? Well, so where I live, there is a couple of places basically right by my house where I can dump the leaves off and the city takes care of it. It's their problem. Like not a recycling, but just sort of like a yard waste area. So I just rake them up, I throw them in the back of my truck, and then I drive them over there and dump them off, and then they're not my problem. The one, I think they turn them into, they mulch them up with some stuff, and then they turn it into like dirt for the streets during the wintertime when it snows. So they throw that down, sand, along with some salt. They mix it all together. They've been working on that. That's like right behind my backyard. Yeah, I think you are overthinking it, though, Brian. I don't know where you're at, but your city or town or whatever should have some sort of, leaf drop-off site or something, or maybe they come around. I don't trust the city to come around and rake or suck them up on a timely basis. You'll see the trucks out there, but, the leaves keep falling throughout the fall and the winter. And eventually it gets so cold they freeze to the grass and it just becomes a mess. And yeah, I don't want to rely on the city to do that for me, even though it's part of my taxpayer dollars at work. Thanks for the text, Brian. Appreciate it. Best of luck with your leaves. We'll get to sports in a bit. Some Sublime coming up after Architects.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Sublime with Santeria on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. I am expecting her back on Monday. We'll see. See what happens with these travel issues that she had on the way out to Europe and if she encounters any on the way back from Europe. Bucks were off last night. They're also off tonight. They'll be at home against the 76ers tomorrow night at 7 p.m. The Wisconsin Badgers, currently ranked 23rd in the nation, and they will be at number 9 BYU on Friday. That is a 3 o'clock tip-off. A little bit early in the afternoon. Grant Bill's unaware of that yesterday. A little bit of a surprise for him. But yeah, 3 o'clock tip-off on Peacock on Friday as number 23 Wisconsin takes on number 9 BYU. Big challenge here. Big matchup. Obviously, Wisconsin hasn't really played anybody yet, but this game will certainly be impactful to the rest of their season. Bears hosting the Steelers on Sunday at noon. The Lions will be at home on Sunday against the Giants. That game also at noon. Packers hosting the Vikings on Sunday at noon as well at Lambeau. Jamar Chase, 1-game suspension upheld by the NFL for spitting on Steelers defensive back Jalen Ramsey. Bengals wide receiver will not be able to play against the Patriots on Sunday. Yay me. That's good for my Pats. I mean, already favored likely to win that game, but now Jamar Chase definitely going to be out on Sunday against the Patriots. Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers.
You done messed up, Aaron!
Not going to need surgery to repair the fracture on his left non-throwing wrist, according to head coach Mike Tomlin. Tomlin did not rule out Aaron Rodgers for the game on Sunday against the Bears. Status will be determined later in the week. Obviously, they're going to let him practice, see how it feels, bandage it up, maybe give him the shot, whatever it takes, and try to roll his ass out there. The college football playoff rankings out again. And Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, the top 3 teams in the latest football rankings that were released yesterday. Alabama dropped 6 spots to number 10 after their loss to Oklahoma. The Crimson Tide now behind number 9 Notre Dame, even though they have more top 25 victories than the Irish do. Georgia, which Alabama beat in September, moved up to number 4. Texas Tech is now in the number 5 spot. Ole Miss at number 6. Oregon, number 7. Oklahoma moving up 3 spots to number 8 after their win in Tuscaloosa. But a little bit of movement there in the college football playoff rankings that were just released yesterday. Busy, busy, busy. The world of sports keeps cranking on, man. Got music on the way from Five Finger Death Punch. Brian wanted to know what I do with my leaves. And I said I'd take them to the Yardway site. There's a couple right by my house. I have options. And I said, thanks. I knew it was a dumb question, but had to be done. Yeah, I just, if you've got a Yardway site where you live, take them there. Or maybe if your city offers, the leaf pickup, you could just rake them to the side of your lawn. Jim texted in and said, go dogs. Jim down in Georgia. Thank you, Jim. Five Finger Death Punch in just a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Julie. Huh? Julie. Huh? Guess what day it is? Julie. Huh? Julie. Huh? Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Anybody? Anybody? Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Anybody? Anybody? Mike. Huh? What day is it, Mike? Huh? Woo-hoo! Mike. Huh? What day is it, Mike? Huh? Oh, come on. I know you can hear me. Leslie, guess what today is? Leslie, guess what today is? Leslie, guess what today is? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
It's hump day.
Hump day! Woo-hoo!
It is, of course, hump day. Get you over that hump, head towards the weekends. Not that the weather's going to get much better like it did last weekend. But a couple days off. Get some stuff done around the house. Maybe take a nap. The weekend, baby. It's coming up. Television tonight, you've got the 59th Annual CMA Awards over on ABC. Performers include Kenny Chesney, Luke Combs, Chris Stapleton, Little Big Town, Keith Urban. Lainey Wilson will be the hostess of the CMA Awards tonight on ABC. Over on CBS tonight, a new episode of Survivor starts at 7 p.m. On Fox, you've got a couple of new episodes. Starting at 7 o'clock, a new episode of The Floor. And then also on Fox, right after that, a new episode of 99 to Beat. After the new episode of Survivor tonight on CBS, you've got another episode of The Amazing Race. People traveling around the world and trying to catch flights and get where they're going. I wonder if anybody's ever... If you've ever been in an airport or a train station or a bus depot or wherever the hell these people go, have you ever been in a place where the Amazing Race is coming through? Feel free to email or text me. Be interested to know if anybody listening has ever been in an airport where, like, the Amazing Race people are getting filmed and trying to catch their flights and running around. And I mean, they're always, in an airport and someplace full of people. You got to assume that somebody listening has been somewhere where the Amazing Race has gone through. Again, rockmornings.com if you want to let me know if you've ever seen them. Fourth season finale of The Morning Show over on Apple TV. And on Netflix today, the premiere of Champagne Problems. Minka Kelly plays an executive who plans to acquire a world-famous champagne brand. Apparently her plans are jeopardized after she falls in love with the founder's son before knowing who he was.
I came here today to hear your proposals for my vineyard. Who wants to start?
Cindy.
Henri?
Henri is my son. You know each other?
We met last night.
Okay, that clears up nothing.
You will be my guest at Chateau Castle for the weekend. I want you to show me why you are the right buyer.
Let's get this party started. It's 9 a.m. I know, right?
Champagne Problems on Netflix. Rom-com, FYI. No thanks. Fallon's new with Cynthia Erivo and Leslie Bibb. Kimmel's got Adam Sandler, Ali Larder, and T-Pain as his guests this evening. Stephen Colbert's new with Benedict Cumberbatch, Patton Oswalt, and Jesse Wells. Jonathan Bailey and Mary Steenburgen. Going to be on with Seth Meyers. That's what's on the boob tube. We watched... we finished up watching How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey, Taylor Momsen version. Started that the other day. Didn't get to finish it. And then we started watching Sleepaway Camp. Seen it a bunch of times, obviously, but didn't finish watching that because I was falling asleep. It's generally what happens. Apple releasing their list of their most popular podcasts of 2025. The Ezra Klein Show is at number 10. Huberman I know none of these. Other than the Kill Tony podcast, which I just watch on YouTube on Tuesday mornings. I don't really, I just don't listen to podcasts. It's not a thing that I ever got into. So I don't know what any of these are except for Joe Rogan, and he's number 1. Huberman Lab at number 9. This American Life at number 8. Call Her Daddy at number 7. That one I do recognize. I think that's the Barstool gal, right? Isn't that the girl that got broken up with by the country music guy? At number 6 for Apple's list of their most popular podcasts of 2025, Smart Less. Dateline NBC. I mean, I know what that is, essentially, because it's a TV show, right? Number 4 is Crime Junkie, the Mel Robbins podcast at number 3. The Daily at number 2. Then number 1 on Apple's list of the most popular podcasts of 2025. It is the Joe Rogan Experience.
I'm going to tell you something about me, Joe Rogan, that you might not know. I smoke rocks.
Yeah. Apple's starting to release all of their end-of-the-year data They've got another list of the top 10 new shows that are on their podcasting platform. I don't recognize any of these things. Cold-Blooded, Mystery in Alaska, Unicorn Girl. There's a Unicorn Girl. Deadly Mirage. Okay, this one I know who Amy Poehler is. So Good Hang with Amy Poehler is the number one new podcast on Apple in 2025. And then the second one is Not Gonna Lie with Kylie Kelsey. And I only recognize that because it's Jason Kelsey's wife, right? Isn't that right? I think I'm right. But yeah, Apple starting to release all of their end-of-the-year data. We'll start to see all the Google stuff as well. Who was Googling this and that and the other thing. Only podcast, like I said, that I really pay attention to is the Kill Tony podcast. And it's new on Monday nights, and so I come in Tuesday mornings, and the YouTube video is right there, so I'll just put it on in the background while I'm getting ready, prepping the show. And I see reels occasionally as I'm scrolling of, like, Joe Rogan and a couple of other podcasts, but I don't know. None of it really interests me. Maybe I'm the old guy yelling at people to get off my lawn. That's probably what it is. I just... Just for whatever reason doesn't really appeal to me. To each their own, though. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We're going to get to bad news, happy music later on. Going to talk some Thanksgiving. Got to check in on our Week 12 Pigskin Picks. That starts on Thursday night, tomorrow night, with the Bills at the Texans. See what kind of picks Gene made before she left for her 2-week jaunt to Europe. Right now, it's Papa Roach.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Pearl Jam with Jeremy on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Got a text from Doc. So check out who heard the Jamar Chase appeal. Yeah, it was Jordy Nelson. He's one of the guys on the board. I don't know exactly what his title is or role is, but yeah. Jamar Chase appeal heard by Jordy Nelson, jointly appointed by the NFL and NFL Players Association. Nelson upholding the suspension. So Jamar Chase out against the Patriots this Sunday. Thanks for the text, Doc. Appreciate it. Always good to hear from him. I think we're actually going to talk to him this Friday. I was trying to get him on the show last week and texted him a couple times, but he was apparently out of town with the wife. So hopefully this week we'll get him on, see what he's up to. Always good to talk to Doc. Thanksgiving, about a week from now, next Thursday. And a bunch of community leaders and partners distributing more than 500 turkeys in Portsmouth, Virginia, to families there during their second annual Thanksgiving Vibes turkey giveaway at a casino, the Rivers Casino in Portsmouth, Virginia. Families that were impacted by the government shutdown or were recognized as breast cancer survivors were provided the holiday gift. So it wasn't just any Tom, Dick, or Harry that wanted to show up and get a free turkey at the casino. This was specifically for people that were impacted heavily by the government shutdown or families that were breast cancer survivors. A councilman there partnering with the Rivers Casino and other community organizations to bring some holiday cheer, emphasizing the importance of supporting residents during some challenging times with some free turkeys.
We know that this time of year is always rough, especially this year when we're experiencing what we're experiencing across the country. And so just to be able to give back a little bit of hope to people is exciting and just bring a little bit of joy to their life.
That's cool. One of the council people there in Portsmouth, Virginia. Distribution included some extra holiday meal components beyond the turkeys. Obviously, some stuff like cranberry sauce, mashed potatoes. Well, maybe not mashed, but maybe some potatoes. But handing out 500 free turkeys. Casino there in Virginia. This is in New Jersey. Very dramatic dash cam footage shows the moment that a couple of New Jersey police officers pulled a driver from a burning car just moments before it was fully engulfed in flames. Happened just a couple of days ago. Safwan Islam suffering a medical episode, crashing his car into a tree in South Brunswick, New Jersey. The video shows the police officer, Yash Shroff, first to arrive on the scene using his baton to try and break the driver's window. The guy was unconscious, bleeding from the head, apparently had a medical episode, crashed the car. The iPhone sensed the crash and auto-dialed 911, so the cops showed up moments before this dude's car engulfed in flames.
I saw the driver inside. He was unconscious and bleeding severely from the head. Within minutes, the car started smoking.
So I grabbed a breacher tool in the back of my car, and I smashed both the back and the front driver's side window.
Just glad we got him out just in time.
In the moment, your mind's racing, but at the same time, you kind of need to revert back to your training.
Video shows the officers living up to that training as they drag him to safety before the entire car goes up in flames. Unbelievable heroics by these two officers there in South Brunswick, New Jersey. Father of the victim said, although it's nothing but a miracle, I'm truly grateful. If you meet them, please share my gratitude with them. The man in the hospital that was involved in the car crash expected to recover, but first of all, having the iPhone, right, to call the police. The guy easily could have gotten burned up. Second of all, the cops show up just in time and, again, relying on their training, drag this guy out of the car, get him to safety before the entire vehicle goes up in flames. Video, by the way, very dramatic if you haven't seen it yet. Thanksgiving stuff, we'll get to that. We're going to talk about raccoons here in a couple of minutes. RockMornings.com if you want to get in touch with me.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings.
International Men's Day. Celebrating men. Boys, know your worth. International Men's Day. Should be dinner waiting for you the moment you get home, along with a back massage. International Men's Day. I think that's what it means, right? Probably not. It's also Play Monopoly Day and World Toilet Day. I think the best way to celebrate World Toilet Day would be to, use the toilet. World Toilet Day. International Men's Day, National Play Monopoly Day as well. I've had a bunch of stories involving raccoons over the last few months. We had that one lady who was riding around in her car with a raccoon that had a meth pipe in its mouth.
The reason I stopped you is you are suspended with a warrant for your arrest.
I am?
The raccoon has her meth pipe.
As what?
Oh, my God.
Her meth pipe. He's playing with the meth pipe right now. Oh, there's no... He's trying to smoke it.
All right. Thanks.
There's no way. All right. Enough fun and games.
Obviously, some body cam footage there of the officers responding to I think it was in Florida, and a woman riding around in her car and had a raccoon sitting in the front passenger seat. And she had some drug paraphernalia, obviously, in her vehicle as well. And the raccoon at one point was grabbing onto the meth pipe. Not quite sure what happened to that raccoon, if it was addicted to meth, if it ended up back in the woods, or what the deal was. But we also had the one where the raccoons got into the dumpster behind like a distillery and got drunk on some fermented peaches. We had the nurse that saved one of the raccoons' lives and had the very interesting way of pronouncing fermented. She fermented.
So our health department is right beside of Kentucky Miss Moonshine. They had put some fermented peaches in their dumpster, and I guess the two baby raccoons had got into the dumpster and they were stuck. Everybody that was around was like, it's dead. I mean, it's just not going to make it. Immediately, I just started doing CPR on it. I was tickled to death that it was able to join its mom again. That poor little raccoon, I hope it stays out of the dumpster.
Yeah. So another raccoon story. This time it was some drunk raccoons in a dumpster, and a nurse there from the deep south with a very thick accent helped to save one of these raccoons' lives. Also had this was, I think, a year or two ago. There was some raccoons that got into this guy's house while he was on vacation and were having a party. They were in his hot tub and hanging out and eating all his food.
I think the raccoon did that 2 or 3 days ago, and then they came back with all their buddies. They were having a party. There was several of them on the step right there. There was several of them in the jacuzzi just splashing around. The 3 of them in the jacuzzi splashing around. And then looking at the other videos from the other camera on the side covered porch, we saw them all coming in and out of the house.
Yeah, a little party going on with the raccoons. And then we had the woman recently who was out on a walk with her dog and got attacked by the raccoon where it jumped at her face.
They become monsters. It flew at me from several different directions. All I could do was scream, help me, help me. This is a nightmare. I kept saying it to myself because I couldn't find any other words. I just encountered a monster.
So, again, we've had several raccoon stories over the last couple of months and years, and apparently researchers are saying that raccoons could be inching closer to becoming normalized pets for everyday Tom, Dick, and Harrys. A study out of the University of Arkansas's Department of Biology found that raccoons are physically changing in response to their interactions with humans. Because we are crossing paths on such a regular basis, the raccoons are becoming less feral looking and cuter looking. Like genetically, like they're modifying their own DNA or something like that. They're evolving. Physically changing, they mean their faces are evolving to look cuter. They're not necessarily dumpster diving less or becoming less disease-ridden. They're just becoming cuter so that we want to pick them up and hold them and take them into our homes. One biologist at the University of Arkansas's Department of Biology said once wild animals start spending time in the proximity of people, they become a little bit less afraid and perhaps even start showing physical signs of domestication syndrome. Raccoons aren't the only animals, by the way, this is happening to. Foxes and mice that live in urban areas also have softer facial features than the more wild, in the woods, rampant foxes and wild mice, I guess. Animals do not make great pets, however, illegal in some areas. The raccoons and foxes and mice may look cute, but can be very destructive, obviously, need lots of space and wilderness in their environment. It's not good for them. But apparently, researchers are saying that maybe sometime in the next couple hundred years, next couple of decades, we could be domesticating raccoons, making them house pets. And they're working on it, too, because they're getting physically cuter. They want to be inside with us. They want to be hanging out. I have seen videos of, like, somebody, I don't know if it's like a animal shelter or a nature preserve or something, but there's a raccoon in the house with the dog, and it's hanging out. I've seen ones with a monkey and the dog, and definitely cute to watch the videos. Don't want it in my house, though. No, thank you very much.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find the daily podcast at rockmornings.com.
Nirvana on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Bucks off last night and tonight. They'll be at home against the 76ers tomorrow night. Tip-off at 7 p.m. Badgers men's basketball team will be at BYU on Friday. 3 o'clock tip-off there. That game will be on Peacock. And, yes, that's an afternoon tip-off. Week 12 in the NFL kicks off tomorrow night. Bills, Texans, Amazon Prime. Bears and Steelers Sunday at noon. Lions and Giants also at noon on Sunday. Packers and Vikings also at noon on Sunday. NBA issuing a warning. However, they did not fine Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors for his interaction with a fan in New Orleans on Sunday night. Might have seen the video on SportsCenter or on the internet somewhere. Draymond Green missed a couple of first quarter possessions, or missed a couple of rebounds and missed shots and all that stuff. The fan started to taunt Draymond Green by calling him Angel Reese. Initially laughed at it, but then after the fan continued to repeat the Angel Reese chant, Draymond Green walked over to confront the guy on the baseline. This guy sitting courtside, essentially. Draymond said, "It was a good joke at first, but you can't keep calling me a woman. I got 4 kids, one on the way. You can't keep calling me a woman." And the guy stood up, got kind of in Draymond Green's face. Draymond Green separated from the fan by a referee eventually, and the NBA issuing a warning to Draymond Green, but no fine. Happening again, another high-profile professional athlete playing in a game, and his house is robbed. This time around, it was Shador. Approximately $200,000 in property stolen from a home of Cleveland Browns rookie quarterback Shador Sanders during a break-in on Sunday when he was playing. 3 suspects entering his home at about 6:45 at night. Surveillance cameras in the home capturing video footage of the suspects entering and exiting in different portions of the home. The suspects all wearing masks and gloves. They were seen leaving Shador Sanders' house at about 6:58, so they were only there for about 15 minutes. The break-in occurring while Shador Sanders was making his NFL debut in Sunday's game against the Ravens at Huntington Bank Field in Cleveland. So again, another episode of athletes, professional athletes, at work, and their homes are getting robbed. I'm not sure if this is another organized ring or if it's some sort of copycat thing or what, but... And a suspect has now been charged in the killing of John Beam, the renowned junior college football coach in Oakland, California, whose team was featured on Netflix's Last Chance U. Murder charges filed against a 27-year-old named Cedric Irving Jr., a former high school football player in Oakland. If convicted, this guy could serve 50 years to life in state prison. Irving is being held without bail, scheduled to be arraigned sometime this week. Arrested at a commuter rail station just after 3 a.m. on Friday while carrying the same firearm that was used to shoot Beam. Also apparently admitted to the shooting. Citing the probable cause document, CNN reporting that news earlier this week. Sounds like this guy admitted to it, had the gun, and signed, sealed, delivered, all that stuff. Awful. Tragic. Going to talk about our Week 12 Pigskin Picks. Also talk about the most hated NFL teams. Got some Thanksgiving stuff to get to in a bit. Bad news, happy music later on as well. And again, if you want to get in touch with me this morning, rockmornings.com for all our contact info. You can also download the 2 apps, the 95.7 The Rock app and the 92.9 The X app, and get in touch with us with voicemails and pictures and videos and all sorts of other stuff.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays, 6 to 9.
And now a woman plans the seating arrangements for Thanksgiving.
It's never too early to start this thing, especially after last year. Who knew a casserole ladle made such a great shank? Okay, first Uncle Billy will sit at the kids' table. Since he'll be so high, he'll just giggle with the rest of them. For obvious reasons, I'll put my mom and dad at a different table than Cousin Frank and his husband. My husband is allergic to cat hair, so he can't sit next to Aunt Sally. Grandma has no filter, which means I'll keep her away from my daughter's new boyfriend, Enrico, with the neck tattoos. My niece Becky uses they, them, their pronouns, so they have to sit far from my brother-in-law Chuck, whose pronouns are get her done. Finally, there's me. I'll put myself in the garage, alone. Oh, best Thanksgiving ever.
That was a woman planning the seating arrangements for Thanksgiving.
Be careful out there who you're sitting next to. Never know. Thanksgiving a week away, next Thursday. Very excited. Looking forward to it. Big meal, football, beers, maybe a nap. It's tough to nap when you're at someone else's house. I mean, I can fall asleep. It's not a problem of the physical act of napping. It's just that everybody is like trying to talk to you. I'm trying to nap over here, man. I'm full of food. Let me get a nap in here. I got the day off. Talk to somebody else. Obviously, there's no shortage of things you don't want to talk about when you're at Thanksgiving. 47% of Americans say that sitting at the kids' table sounds more appealing than ever, this Thanksgiving in particular. Is that to avoid adult conversations? Is it just more fun to hang out with the kids? 47% of Americans say that sitting at a kids' table sounds more appealing this year than ever before. A wine company commissioning a poll asking all sorts of different Thanksgiving questions. A lot of people leaning on alcohol to get through Thanksgiving. Top 10 topics that we're hoping to avoid on Turkey Day. And they're the obvious stuff. Number one, top of the list, politics. Pretty much every single year. Nobody wants to talk about it at Thanksgiving. Can we just eat the turkey? How's the dog? Oh, I see you look like you're rearranging the basement or something. I don't know. Money as well. Number 2 on the list of the top 10 topics we're trying to avoid on Thanksgiving. Appearance or weight. We're not shaming people because they eat, right? We're letting them be who they are now. We're all about positivity. Is that still a thing? Even with Ozempic? This one should be higher. Religion. Another thing we don't want to talk about at Thanksgiving dinner. Your ex. Why isn't so-and-so here? Work or career issues, personal struggles, current relationship status, and other family members. Try to avoid bashing other family members, but some topics that we're trying to avoid when we get to Thanksgiving dinner. I'm not trying to talk about anything except for eating some food, drinking some beers, and maybe some football. And then that nap. Guaranteed. You want to talk about any of that other stuff, go upstairs. I don't want to. That's no thanks. Not for me. Also, we talked a little bit about gravy yesterday. There was a couple of gravy-related items. One of them being a gravy extinguisher. Firehouse Subs launching a gravy extinguisher. It looks like a fire extinguisher. It holds up to 2 liters of gravy. And it was only $20, but they sold out almost immediately. So if you want to get your hands on one, you'll probably have to head to eBay. Maybe you can meet some guy in an alleyway on Craigslist or something. There was also KFC trying to get people to eat chicken instead of turkey on Thanksgiving and go for their gravy flights. They're doing a flight of gravy with their festive holiday meal. It comes with like a bucket of chicken and some sides and a flight of gravies. They got like 3 different gravies in there. Now Heinz is selling squeezable leftover gravy. Yeah, it's the first ever squeezable gravy bottle. So look, you can make your own gravy. That's fine. You should, because it's delicious when it's homemade, at least if it's done right. But you can also buy a jar of gravy at the store in a pinch. It doesn't have the same flavor. It doesn't have the same value, I think, as the homemade gravy, but it'll do in a pinch if you need it. Comes in a jar, glass jar, metal lid. Pop it off, pour it into a pan, heat it up. Develops a nice little skin on top. Now they've got it in a squeezable ketchup-style bottle. Leftover gravy is what it's called, featuring their home-style turkey gravy. They say that their intention for this was specifically for sandwiches. Inspired by the Friends episode where someone steals Ross's Moist Maker sandwich, which was made from Thanksgiving leftovers, with the secret being a gravy-soaked slice of bread somewhere in the middle. It's available, by the way, at Walmart.com exclusively. However, it did sell out. It looks like maybe they're going to restock it. You need to buy a jar version of the Heinz Homestyle gravy for $1.88, and they'll include a limited edition Heinz leftover gravy kit with the squeezable version and a recipe card. It was sold out, by the way, earlier, but maybe they'll be restocking it. So if you're looking to get your hands on a leftover gravy bottle from Heinz, keep checking Walmart.com, because that's the only place you're going to find it. I don't know, you could do like an au jus, like a French dip. If you're making a Thanksgiving sandwich, you get a little cup of gravy on the side, and then you dunk it in there. You don't need to necessarily put it inside of the sandwich, or you could do a nice baguette, maybe some sort of sub sandwich, so that it's got a little bit more density to it, a little crispier on the outside, can hold the gravy in, doesn't soggy up everything. You got no problem with that.
Now, an ordinary kid on Thanksgiving.
Big whoop, it's dinner. Calm down, everybody. I'm sitting here watching these wrinkly types argue and eat himself into a diabetic coma. And the only thing higher than everyone's cholesterol is my Uncle Tyler, who at last count had thrown back 11 deviled eggs. Gross. I'm over here stuck trying to explain Roblox to Uncle Dickie, who still plays Tetris on his flip phone. Seriously? And then there's the endless drama. Like last year when Papa wore his red hat, Mom was like, no Hannity at the table. Papa's not coming this year. Oh, not because of the red hat. He died. So let's get through America's cheat day without any serious injuries and bring on what really matters. Christmas! To you and your family, happy Thanksgiving, I guess.
This has been An Ordinary Kid on Thanksgiving.
Brandon texted in, said, my family is divided politically, but no one gives a damn. We sit together, get a good buzz, and watch football. It's great. Well, that's good. That's the way it should be. Another Brandon said, with that list of things not to talk about, how the hell do I stir the pot and sit back and drink my beer and watch the magic unfold? Well, I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying that this is a list of things you should try to avoid. You certainly can if you want. I just don't. I just want to eat and nap and watch football, and I'm good with all that. I don't need any of the other stuff. I'm happy with those things. Those are, yeah. But you can stir the pot, Brandon. And if you do, make sure that you turn your camera sideways. You know what I mean? It's just like the old Black Friday advice when people would go out and film videos of everybody kicking ass and taking names for $5 toasters. Make sure you turn your camera the right way if you're going to film anything with the family having a meltdown. Thanksgiving meltdowns can be some of the better ones. A lot of emotional stuff going on there. Family members, high emotions, right? Whatever you do, have a good Thanksgiving. Eat lots of food, watch some football, drink some beers, take a nap. Just take it easy on the crazy discussions.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Nothing says Thanksgiving like turkey. Available in grocery stores everywhere for a few bucks. But since you love to pay extra, you'll want the new iTurkey from Apple. Starting at only $799, the iTurkey has Bluetooth connectivity that enables you to call dibs on your favorite part of the bird right from your iPhone. Want to make sure everyone gets seconds? Just enter the number of guests into the touchscreen mounted under the wing. The iTurkey will automatically weigh each portion as it's sliced and sound an alarm when someone's gotten their fair share.
Gobble, gobble.
What's more, those pricey wireless earbuds can be converted into handy salt and pepper shakers. Forget getting in line for Black Friday deals on iPhones. This year, you'd better get in line at your favorite supermarket now to get your iTurkey, because of course, we've planned for them to be sold out everywhere. The iTurkey, exclusively from Apple, because we just love to gobble your money.
Sounds delicious. The iTurkey. No thanks. Regular ass turkeys, just fine with me. Smoked, even better. Get yourself a smoked turkey. Hell yeah. A Canadian sports betting site using Google Keyword Planner, whatever the hell that is, to figure out which NFL team is the most hated in the United States of America. Now, this is not the fan base. This is the team itself. And for some strange reason, it's not the Kansas City Chiefs. You'd think with their embarrassment of riches over the last couple of years, they would be number one, but that is not the case. In fifth place, it's a tie between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Dallas Cowboys.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah. 3 separate states hating the Cowboys and the Steelers the most. The states that hate the Steelers the most are Kentucky, Maryland, and Ohio. The only three states that hate the Cowboys are Delaware, New Jersey, and Virginia. Again, I don't know how scientific all of this is, but coming in at number 3, a tie, again, between the New York Jets and the Green Bay Packers.
Go, Pack, go!
Yeah, the Jets and the Packers tying with 6 states apiece in terms of the NFL team that's hated the most in the country. The states that hate the Jets the most are Florida, Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Vermont, pretty much all of New England, and then Orlando, Florida. And Green Bay gets a lot of hate from Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, so pretty much all of the Midwest. Lengthy history of success, lots of domination in the NFC North, beloved franchise, all that stuff. Jets and Packers tied in third place with 6 different states that hate them the most.
Due to the various uncertainties surrounding my position as it relates to the team's new ownership, I've decided to resign as the head coach of the New York Jets.
Yeah, even Belichick hated the Jets so much that he dipped on them right there at the podium. Number 2, no big surprise here, the Vegas Raiders. I don't think it matters what state they're in. People are going to hate the Raiders. 8 different states apparently hate the Raiders, according to this Canadian sports betting site. that used Google Keyword Planner to figure out which NFL teams are the most hated. The 8 states that hate the Raiders are Colorado, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Utah, and Wyoming. And then I got to be honest, I feel like this one has way more to do with the fans than it does the team. Way more. Number 1 on the list, no, it's not my team. My team didn't have any states that hated it. I was shocked to find that out. I thought for sure the Patriots would be in the top 5. But again, this is not a ranking of fan bases that you hate. This is a ranking of the team that you hate. And the Pats have been bad for a few years, so maybe they've faded into oblivion, as Mike Tyson would say. Number 1 on the list. And again, it's not about the fans, but I think this is just that people hate their fans. The Eagles. Everybody hates the Eagles.
I hate the Eagles, man.
Yeah, I hear you, buddy. 13 different states in the United States of America hate the Eagles the most. Alabama, Arkansas, Alaska, California, Connecticut, Hawaii, Idaho, Mississippi, Nevada, New Mexico, Oklahoma, South Carolina, and Texas. The Eagles topping the hate rankings, drawing animosity across the South, Midwest, and even in Hawaii. Eagles fans often get the bad rep, viewed by opposing team fans as arrogant, aggressive, all of that, which bleeds into the hatred of their team itself. But again, a Canadian sports betting website using Google Keyword Planner to figure out which NFL teams are the most hated. And coming in at number 1, the Philadelphia Eagles. I was shocked. I thought for sure the Patriots would have 1 or 2 teams or states, like a couple. I thought we'd have a few. We didn't get any. I'm kind of bummed. It sucks. Got a text from, let's see, a couple different people. Rob said, Green Bay sucks. Green Bay sucks. Rob is a Bears fan. Ryan said, it's funny that all those states you listed off for the Packers hate, I think they're mad because they don't have a professional sports teams or professional football teams. Dun-dun-dun. Also got another text from another Brandon, a third Brandon in a row. He said, here's your third Brandon. Can we hear some Limp Bizkit? Of course you can.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. More from Brian and Gene is coming up.
For Brandon from the Third Power, Limp Bizkit. Their cover of the Mission Impossible theme. Wanted to hear some Biscuit. There you go, bud. Hopefully you got it. Enjoy it. Brandon. Third Brandon. 3 of them right in a row today. It's strange. Don't hear that very often. It is Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. She's still in Europe somewhere, traipsing around Germany. And before she left, we made a bunch of our pigskin picks, 3 weeks worth, because she wasn't going to be here. So let's take a look at Week 12, which kicks off tomorrow night with Buffalo at Houston. Gene coming in hot to Week 12 with an 87-76 overall record. Right now, I'm thoroughly dominating her with a 109-54 overall record. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. It's like shooting fish in a bucket with dynamite. It's not even close. She went with Houston at home against Buffalo. Give me the Bills on the road. I took the Bills in this one. We're both on Baltimore to beat the Jets. Also both taking Chicago to beat Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers with that broken wrist, even though it's his non-throwing hand. Not sure if he's going to get the start. Is Mason Rudolph Ducky? Is Ducky the guy? Are they going to go to Duck? The next game up on the docket is the Patriots at the Bengals. The Bengals, of course, without Joe Burrow and also without Jamar Chase. I, of course, took the Pats because I'm a huge Pats fan. Jean can't take the Pats, plus she loves the Bengals helmets. I got $20 on this with my guy, Tommy Babs, the pizza god. I think I'm going to get $20 richer after Sunday. Next up, we're all on Detroit. We're both taking the Lions to beat the Giants. Lions need to turn this thing around after losing to Philadelphia last weekend. We're both on the Packers at home against the Vikings. I've got Kansas City at home against Indiana. So does Gene. We took the home team there in all 3 of those games. Both on Seattle to beat Tennessee. I've got Jacksonville beating Arizona in the desert. Gene is taking Arizona at home to beat Jacksonville. Gene's also picking Cleveland to beat the Raiders in Vegas. I think the Vegas Raiders turned it around, not necessarily their season, but at least this week. And I picked the Vegas Raiders to beat the Cleveland Browns. We're both on Philly over Dallas on Sunday afternoon. That's a late game. Also, let's see. Next up, Atlanta and New Orleans. Jean loves herself the New Orleans Saints. She has for a long time, mostly because of Drew Brees. So she took New Orleans. I wisely went with Atlanta, even though they're on the road. I've got Tampa Bay beating the Rams in the Sunday night football game. She took the Rams over the Bucs, and then we're both on San Fran to win on Monday night at home against Carolina with the return of Brock Purdy, right? Is this the first game or second game? But again, I'm so far ahead. She just doesn't have a chance in hell at all at catching up to me here. I'm 22 games in front of her. I mean, it's just... it's a slaughter at this point. We'll see, though, how we do after Week 12. We'll check in on our Pigskin Picks on Tuesday morning. Gene will be back by then. And at that point, again, it may be over by Week 14 here. It may be to the point where I'm so far ahead that she can't even catch me. I've lapped the field. 109-54 overall with Gene's 87-76 overall. Is there a mercy rule in making Pigskin Picks? Because we're getting to that point. Bad news, happy music is coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril. Now that's just nasty. Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
This is not the first time I've heard of a driveway getting stolen, but it's always interesting when it does. A realtor named Paige Batten purchasing a home in October of 2024 to flip it and then resell it. Over the summer, she listed the home for sale. Last Friday, potential buyers and their agent called her to notify her that something was missing from the home. It was the driveway.
I can assure you there's no driveway. It's gone. So I had a call on Saturday morning. An agent has sent her client over to look at the house. And she was like, hey, we're thinking about putting in an offer. When are you going to finish up the driveway? So a couple of the moms had left for school around 8 that morning. There was a green dumpster that was here.
So I was taking my kids to the bus every morning like we do, and we see them taking up the driveway, and I thought they were just replacing it.
Yeah, not the case. Not the case. The woman who owns the house and was flipping it to resell it said that at least 3 vehicles were at the home. A truck with a trailer, a dump truck hauling a backhoe, and a king cab truck hauling a backhoe. After speaking with some of the neighbors, she says the trucks were there for about 2 hours. I called the non-emergency number. That's a lady. I said, I don't even really know what I'm reporting. So I told her, and she was like, what? Everyone just goes, what? Now everybody's in shock, and some people thought it was an AI picture that wasn't even real. And I'm like, no, it's real. I promise. Speaking to several neighbors, many assumed that it was a job that this woman had hired them to do. Some described the trucks that were previously mentioned, while others described a sound similar to a bulldozer. Now this woman trying to find the people behind this. She believes that workers had the wrong address and wishes that they would come forward. If not, it could cost her almost $12,000. So it sounds like maybe these guys got the wrong address, showed up, removed the driveway, and then realized maybe afterwards they made a mistake and didn't want to get in trouble for it. So they figured just silence is the best. Not necessarily a stolen driveway, but a missing driveway. Who steals this shoe, honestly? Here's a genius in Rockford, Illinois. Arrested on Friday after hanging out the side of a car, swinging a gun around because he thought the ladies would like it.
Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
Yeah, somebody called 911 after they saw this guy, Saba Bonilla, A 27-year-old man hanging out the window of a black SUV and waving around a some sort of semi-automatic rifle or something. I don't know. Apparently it was a Smith & Wesson. I'm not quite sure exactly. Didn't read the whole story, but this guy's got himself a big gun, and he's hanging out the side of an SUV, swinging this thing around. Not shooting it, just swinging it around.
This is the AK-47 assault rifle, the preferred weapon of your enemy, and it makes a distinctive sound when fired at you, so remember it.
Was he driving while he was hanging out the window and waving the gun around? The gun itself was sitting on the back seat of the SUV when the cops caught up to him. He also had a large capacity magazine, about 30 bullets hidden inside of his pant leg. At least 2 women were in the car with him. Cops asked why he waved the gun around. He said he was attempting to have sexual relations with them and believed women like these things.
Ever fired your gun up in the air and gone, ah?
No, I have not ever fired my gun up in the air and gone, ah.
Right. Come on, dude. What kind of girls are you hanging out with? Turns out this guy has been convicted on weapons charges 4 separate times.
Guns. Lots of guns.
Yeah. The cops obviously arresting him for unlawful possession of a gun. He's due in court on December 16th. But driving around Rockford, Illinois, black SUV, hanging out the side, out the window with a gun, waving it around, that's no way to go through life, son.
I have a gun in my room. You give me 5 seconds, I'll get it. I'll come back down here. Boom! I'll blow their brains out.
Scott, you just don't get it, do you? You don't.
Yeah, Scott doesn't get it, neither does Saba Bonilla from Rockford, Illinois. You big dummy. Ay. You know what gets the ladies hot and bothered? Anything but that. Pretty much. Whatever the opposite of that is. Hanging out the side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. Yeah, dude, can't. What are you going to do? Bad news, happy music. Got a couple more here. This guy is in big trouble with the internet. The internet gets mad at people from time to time. And this guy, love of his life, she's got lung cancer. They don't have a cure for lung cancer. So what does he do? He has her cryogenically frozen. I'm assuming she agreed to this. It's not like some sort of pod he's got in his basement. Probably a lab, paid a lot of money. Well, now people on the internet are mad because this guy who froze his wife until they could find a cure for lung cancer has got himself a new girlfriend.
And then I moved, you see, to Hollywood, and well, that's when I met my wife, Morgan Fairchild.
This guy's 57. He made headlines in 2017 after he agreed for his wife to be frozen up to 30 years, making her the first woman to be cryogenically frozen in China. His name is Guy. Her name is Zan. He planned to reunite with her after his contract was up, hoping her terminal cancer diagnosis would no longer apply due to some new treatments, right? Having the hope that in the future we could cure lung cancer. Unfortunately, this guy didn't plan on the loneliness that would set in with his wife cryogenically frozen, so now he's got himself a new girlfriend.
Don't you need to be back in the arms of a good friend?
Yeah. Facing backlash after it was revealed that he's now moved in with his new girlfriend. Are you still paying the tab on the cryo freeze? Are you still picking the tab up? I mean, maybe he's got the whole thing worked out with the girlfriend. Like, hey, this is a short-term thing, and in a couple of years when my wife gets thawed out, I'm going to go back to her. Maybe he's trying for the throuple thing. The woman was frozen free of charge after the Science Institute appealed for volunteers to basically see if the technology would work. The first 2 years, this guy apparently stayed single. Everything was good to go, but after struggling to cope with daily life alone, he decided he couldn't do it anymore. Apparently in 2020, he suffered an attack of gout so severe that he couldn't get up or reach his phone and lay helpless until family members decided to break down his door and realize what was going on. It was at that point he realized that maybe he needs to get himself a girlfriend, and that's what he did. Apparently, mutual friend introducing him to another woman. Her name is Wang. Saw their relationship as utilitarian. There we go. She has not entered my heart yet. I feel a sense of responsibility towards her, but this is a complicated matter. She can never replace my wife. I cannot just forget the past, but I still need to move on with life. I don't know. Dude doesn't sound like he's got a girlfriend. Sounds like he's got a live-in nurse or somebody there to help him out.
And hell, I might even get on top of my wife tonight. See y'all later. God bless you, ladies and gentlemen.
No, he's got some girl living with him to help him out because he's got gout. This poor guy. Internet very mad, though. People very mad that this guy has moved on. His wife cryogenically frozen. And he's got himself a new live-in girlfriend who may or may not be a girlfriend. May just be a woman that's helping him out with his daily life activities. Last but not least, we go to Florida. Can't go wrong with Florida. A planned sexual threesome failed to materialize. The hashtag Florida woman became angry and then began to pummel her boyfriend in his face.
And orgies are not too much fun if no one wants to do with you.
Angel Lynn Curl and her boyfriend apparently invited another female friend of theirs to their apartment in Clearwater on Saturday night to engage in sexual congress. However, the coitus was apparently interrupted when all parties declined participating in sexual activity. I guess they decided that maybe 3 people was too many.
Not 1, not 2, not 3.
Yeah, none. How about none is the answer? Not 1, not 2, not 3, none. Nobody was getting any. Following the turn down, Kurt allegedly became angry, repeatedly struck the 47-year-old victim in the face as he was seated on the couple's living room couch. The second female, the invitee, watched Curl strike the victim in the face with closed fists multiple times. After she was read her rights, Curl denied hitting the man.
It's the magic number.
Yeah, it would have been the magic number, but apparently everybody decided not to have sex. And so she started pummeling this dude in the face. Curl arrested at about 1:15 in the morning for domestic battery. Released from custody later that day. Not quite sure if she is going to be able to continue this relationship with this guy because she was ordered not to have contact with the victim after the domestic battery.
Why is it when something happens, it is always you 3?
Yeah. You go through all the rigmarole. Hey, let's invite so-and-so over for a threesome. Okay, cool. Call her up. Send her a text, a snap, whatever. She shows up. It's 1 a.m. Maybe you had some cocktails, all of that stuff. She makes her way over to your house, takes an Uber. You get there, maybe the clothes are starting to come off, things are getting hot and heavy, and then somebody says no, and then the next thing you know, you're getting beat in the face. Oofta. That is a rough Saturday night. Now your relationship's over. She can't have any more contact with you. You got to move out. I mean, that's not good. Those threesomes will get you. Got to be careful. Bad news, happy music on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get to our daily check-ins after Five Finger Death Punch.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings. Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us. Check. We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
rockmornings.com for all of our contact info. You can also download the 95.7 The Rock app and the 92.9 The X app. Install those on your phone. Take us with you wherever you go. Get in touch with us with voicemails and pictures and videos right there through the app. Rob said, Green Bay sucks. Green Bay sucks. I said, LOL, the Bears still suck. He said 7-3, first place, and I reminded him that the last time the Bears won a NFL championship was in 1985 when they won Super Bowl 20 over my Patriots. So let's not get too crazy here. I get it. You're having a decent season. You won a couple of nice games there, but you haven't won diddly-poo until you've won it in the playoffs. Third Brandon texted in, wanted to hear some Limp Bizkit. Did that for him. Thank you. Second, Brandon said, my family is divided politically, but no one gives a damn. We eat and get a good buzz on and watch some football. It's great. First, Brandon said, with that list of things not to talk about, how the hell do I stir the pot and sit back and drink my beer? Well, I'm not saying you can't stir the pot. I'm just saying those are topics that most people would want to avoid. You certainly can do whatever you like at your Thanksgiving. Ryan said, it's funny with all those states you listed off for the Packers hate. I think they're just mad because they don't have a professional football team. Thank you, Ryan. Doc texted me earlier. Said, check out who heard the Jamar Chase appeal. It was Jordy Nelson. Saw that yesterday. Thank you, Doc. Jim earlier texted in, go Dogs. New college football playoff rankings came out yesterday. Brian said, just curious what to do with the leaves because I got 10 bags worth. You recycle them or you just throwing it away like garbage? Am I overthinking this? I've never thrown leaves away like garbage. That's a new one on me, honestly. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody doing that. I know that multiple cities have yard waste sites where you can drop them off, or if you live in a city big enough, they'll come and suck them up from your yard. You rake them into a pile at the boulevard, the sidewalk area. I rake mine up, throw them in the back of the truck, and bring them to the drop site and dump them myself. But best of luck to you with all your leaves, Brian. Best of luck. Thank you for all the correspondence. Good to hear from you. Gloomy day today. Try to enjoy it. We'll talk to you tomorrow.